It wasn't just a game. It wasn't just another highlight. It was the moment. The instant Anthony Edwards stopped being Minnesota's next big thing and became their undisputed alpha. You could feel it, not in the stats, not in the scoreboard, but in the silence of the crowd right before he took over. The night the Timberwolves stopped waiting for a savior and realized they already had one. Flashback to the 2024 NBA playoffs. The Minnesota Timberwolves, underdogs, underestimated, written off by analysts, were locked in a brutal series against the reigning champions, the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic was doing Nikola Jokic things. The Wolves were hanging on, but it felt like the usual Minnesota story. Fight hard, fall short. And then, something shifted. Fourth quarter. Game 7, Denver up by 7 with 5 minutes left. The Wolves' offense looked gassed. Karl Anthony Towns couldn't find his rhythm, Mike Conley was struggling against Jamal Murray's defense, and the energy was fading fast. But Anthony Edwards, only 22 years old, had that look in his eyes. That cold, laser-focused look the greats have when they know the moment belongs to them. What happened next didn't just change a game, it changed a franchise. Ant caught the ball on the right wing, sized up Aaron Gordon, and bang! One dribble, spin, pull-up three, splash! Next possession, he ripped the ball straight from Murray's hands, exploded down the court, and threw down a dunk so violent it rattled the rim and the entire state of Colorado. The Wolves' bench went ballistic. Denver called timeout. The energy in the arena flipped instantly. Minnesota smelled blood. From that moment on, Edwards didn't just play basketball, he commanded it. Step backs, crossovers, fadeaways, everything fell. The Nuggets threw doubles, zones, even full court traps. Nothing worked. He scored 15 straight points, staring down every defender who tried to stop him. When the final buzzer sounded, Minnesota had pulled off the upset, and Anthony Edwards had officially arrived. After the game, reporters asked him how he pulled it off. He didn't hesitate. "I'm the guy, man. This is my team now." No arrogance, just truth. And he was right. That Game 7 wasn't just a win, it was a statement, a passing of the torch. The Timberwolves weren't Karl Anthony Towns' team anymore. They weren't a rebuild project. They were Anthony Edwards' team, and the NBA knew it. Let's rewind for a second. Anthony Edwards wasn't supposed to be this good, this fast. When he was drafted, #1 overall in 2020, critics said he was raw, too streaky, too immature. Some even said basketball wasn't his passion, that he was more into football. But what they didn't understand was that Ant wasn't wired like the rest. He wasn't chasing hype, he was chasing legacy. By 2023, you could already see it. Flashes of Jordan-esque athleticism, Kobe-level confidence, and that relentless swagger that can't be taught. Teammates talked about his leadership off the court. Coaches said he was the first in the gym and the last to leave. And when the Timberwolves needed a closer, he didn't shy away. He wanted the ball. The 2024 playoff run was his coronation. He averaged 31 points per game through the postseason, with shooting splits that made even veteran analysts shake their heads. 51% from the field, 42% from three, and 86% from the line. Those aren't just numbers, they're superstar numbers. He outplayed MVPs, he stared down legends. He owned the spotlight. But it wasn't just the stats, it was his attitude. When the Wolves lost Game 2 to Denver, Ant didn't flinch. He told reporters, "We'll see them again." And when they did, he dropped 43 points with a grin that said, "Told you so." That alpha energy, that's what separates the great players from the great leaders. His teammates noticed it too. After that Game 7, Karl Anthony Towns said it best. "This is Ant's world now. We just live in it." Even coach Chris Finch admitted, "We go as Ant goes." His energy drives this team. And the fans? They could feel it. The Timberwolves, once a team known for heartbreak, suddenly had a heartbeat again. Kids in Minnesota were wearing No 5 jerseys, pretending to hit fadeaways and shouting, "Ant-Man!" in driveways. The Target Center crowd started buzzing in ways it hadn't since Kevin Garnett's prime. What makes Edwards different isn't just his athleticism, though it's freakish. It's the mentality. He doesn't care about stats, he cares about dominance. When asked about comparisons to stars like Ja Morant or Williamson, He laughed and said, "They're cool, but I'm trying to be the best ever." You can't teach that kind of confidence. It's born from hunger. And he's delivering on it. By early 2025, Edwards wasn't just an all-star, he was in MVP conversations. His scoring was elite, his defense underrated, and his leadership undeniable. The Wolves were sitting near the top of the Western Conference, not because of luck, but because their young star had learned how to command the game. Analysts started comparing him to Dwyane Wade in 2006 when he took over the Miami Heat and led them to a championship. Same swagger, same killer instinct, but Ant has something even rarer: youth on his side. At 23, he's barely scratching his ceiling, and that's what's scary, because the more the spotlight grows, the more comfortable he gets. He doesn't shrink from pressure, he feeds on it. After one late-season game where he dropped 46 points on the Lakers, he said, "Pressure? That's fun to me. I live for this." But here's the real story. Anthony Edwards didn't just become the Wolves' alpha, he became the embodiment of modern NBA leadership, not through social media antics, not through super team trades, but through heart, through pure, relentless competitiveness. When he stares down defenders, it's not disrespect, it's declaration. When he hits a step-back three, it's not flash, it's confidence. And when he rallies his teammates mid-timeout, it's not hype, it's belief. That's why the Timberwolves follow him. That's why Minnesota believes again. The 2025 season isn't over yet, but one thing's already clear. Anthony Edwards has arrived. He's no longer the young kid with potential. He's the guy opponents fear, teammates trust, and fans rally behind. He's the pulse of a city that's been waiting for someone to believe in. And when you watch him play, the fire, the passion, the fearlessness, you realize you're not just witnessing a star being born, you're witnessing a leader taking over. The Minnesota Timberwolves are no longer searching for their identity. They've found it in that electric grin, in that unshakable swagger. Anthony Edwards didn't ask for the crown, he just took it. Call to action. If you felt that takeover energy, hit subscribe, because Anthony Edwards isn't just changing the Timberwolves, he's rewriting what it means to lead in the modern NBA. More power plays, more rivalries, more takeover moments. Coming up next, this is the era of Ant-Man, and it's only just beginning.